Hello, it's been a while since I've done this, but it's time for a Flosstube number, I forgot to look, 12 or 13. It is Friday, October 23rd, and I've been having a lot of fun still stitching for this Crystal Academy game that I got started in. So I'm just going to catch you up on what I've done with that, but I have stitched so much since I started this, more than I used to. It's really been a lot of fun. So the spells that we were doing for from the end of September through the first part of October, we had to do one that was winter, snowy, or icy scene, or Christmas. They allowed Christmas. So I started working on Silent Night. Let me get my cardboard behind it. Silent Night. This is a Mill Hill kit. It comes with Ada, but I just don't work on Ada anymore, so I got some linen that worked. So my plan for this was, I knew I needed to do some beading for one of the spells, and I didn't have any memorabilia or anything that was ready to bead. So I thought, well, I'll get this stitched and then I'll bead it. So I worked on this for the winter, Christmas, and then also for the spell sling, which I'll talk about in a minute. But when I counted up all the beads, you had to have 300 beads to count for this spell. There were only 250 beads on this project, so I had to go another way with beads. But it's where I can put beads on it now. There's also a companion piece that I've also bought linen for. This is Holy Night. So I haven't started this one, but I plan to start on it at some point. And then between the two of them, if I have to do beads again, then I would have enough to do beads. One of the other things we had to do for these spells was a designer name that that started with one of the letters in the word enter. So I picked my favorite designer, and that is Nora Corbett, Nora Adams, Mirabilia. And I had started this probably a couple of years ago. This is Luna, and I had just had like her hat and a little bit of her hair done. So I worked some more on her face and down into her dress. So she was my designer that starts with N. So I really want to work on her some more. That's the bad thing about doing all this. It's like, oh, I really had fun working on that, and I want to do them all. And then another thing you had to do was something with a door or entryway. So I've been working on this one off and on. This is Autumn Seasonal Celebrations from Country Cottage. And so I've got a lot of it done. It's getting very close. I just have to finish. There's another banner pole here, and then the banner across the top, and that's pretty much it on it. So that one's almost done. So then for the beads, I did something that I don't ever do. Get some of this out of the way. And I started beading before I finished stitching. But I just didn't have any choice. This one I had to mark the top of it because it's symmetrical. But this is Plum Pudding by Glendon Place. And so I've started beading on this side of it. And so, whoops. So I was able to get 300 beads done for the part I'd stitched. Let me go in a little bit closer, you can see some of those beads. It's a cloudy day here today, so there's not as much light coming in, but hopefully you can still see all these beautiful beads. And so then I had to stitch something purple, so then I started stitching some more on it too. So I'm over half done stitching it, and I do want to keep stitching so that if I need more beads again, there's another project I can do beads on. But usually I wait until I'm done with a project before I start adding beads. All right, so that was the Ferventical Studies for Magical Use Spells. So that was a couple weeks, almost 2 weeks ago now. Then we did a spell sling, which was stitch as much as you can over a weekend and sling spells at another team. We did really well. We won our battle. So I worked some on Dressmaker's Daughter. because you want, for something like that, this is the first time I've done any of this, so I'm learning all this. But for something like that, you want where you can just fill in stitches. You don't have to really worry about keeping track of where you are. So the background, I'm still on summer. Someday I'll get past summer. So filling in this background is a good thing to do. But I was not at home. I was visiting my mother-in-law's, and the lighting there is not as good. I didn't have my normal setup. Oh, here, in case you haven't seen, this is what the whole thing will look like when it's done someday. The lighting wasn't good, so then I picked up the Silent Night again and it was on a little bit bigger count fabric, so it was easier to do. And I have all this stuff all over the place now. Okay, so that was the Spell Sling. I did the Silent Night. I also did it, we started a field trip, not last weekend, but the weekend before, because it's finishing up this weekend. So it was a 2-week-long field trip, which was a blast. It was a choose your own adventure. So you could start out, you could go to the forest, to the swamp, to the, I went to the mountains. I forgot all the rest of them now. The lake. So you stitch 200 stitches and say, I'm going to the mountains, and then they'd have several different prompts there, and you'd say, okay, I'm going to do this next, I'm going to do this next, and it was so much fun. They really did a good job of telling the story for it. So it was a lot of fun. So I went to the mountains. They just posted, I think it was yesterday, the final thing for it, which was a puzzle. So you had to figure out the color and the order of pegs, in each area had a different puzzle. So, you know, 4 pegs, but you had to figure out the colors, and they gave you the first one, and then you'd make a guess, and they'd tell you, well, you have that color right, but it's in the wrong place, or that color isn't in there at all. And so they had all of us that had gone to the mountain. We were in one Facebook chat, so we could kind of chat back and forth what we were doing. So I stitched some more on that plum pudding, because purple was one of the colors we needed, and it ended up that was in the solution, so I kept stitching purple. But we got it on our second try. So the first one we guessed 4 colors, and we got 2 of the colors right, but one of them was in the wrong place, and 2 of the colors totally wrong. And so we guessed the next time and it was right. We just lucked out. So that was kind of fun. So now I'm free to work on whatever I want to this weekend, which I have so much to work on, it's hard to decide now what to work on. But one of the, so for each prompt that you did, you had to stitch 200 stitches. And so I started a Halloween one because I really didn't have any Halloween projects going, and I like to stitch in the season. That means I don't get them done for that season, but that's just what I like to do. So this is one that I had purchased not long ago. It's Halloween week. I'm trying to get it where it's not quite so glary. This is Madame Chantilly, but there's a little bit smaller one here on the back, and that's the one I'm working on. So I had to put it away while I did my purple the other day, yesterday. So I have the first little jar done with a cat in it, and now I've just started the second jar that's gonna have the witch in it. So that's probably what I'll work on this weekend, because I want to work on Halloween. All right, that's pretty much everything I think I've been working on. We start new spells on Monday, so that will be fun to see what's next for the spells. And then I thought I would just share some stash that I got. So I should have taken these out. Let's see if you can see. This is the new Halloween Sampler 2. By Cottage Garden Samplers. So there's an earlier one, which I have the chart, and I think I have fabric for it, but I have not stitched it. I went ahead and picked up a few threads while I was at the store, and I'm waiting on the fabric to come in. They didn't have any of the murky in stock at my local needlework store, so I'm waiting for that to come in. And then they also had, this is also by Cottage Garden, Christmas Sampler 2, which I love the chickadee in this one. This is one my mom would really love if I got it finished for her, and it's got a cardinal. She would really love this one. I didn't pick up any of the floss for it because I'm not in Christmas mode yet, even though I had to work on Silent Night. And then this is also by Cottage Garden. And this is Merry Christmas. And another one, this is another one my mom would really like. I'm sorry, I should have taken these out of the plastic so they weren't quite so glary. And then I picked up the latest Christmas Square Dance by Heart and Hand. I have started the regular square dance on one long piece. Haven't worked on that for a while, but I haven't started any of the Christmas ones. And then I just got an order today, and this is Lady Orchid Moth, Nora Corbett. Isn't she gorgeous? I pretty much pick up all of her stuff that comes out because I have learned if you don't, you might not find it later, because some of her stuff will go out of print, and I luckily have all of the old ones that people look for. Every time one comes out, I get it. So I have a whole stash. I will probably never get them all stitched. I do love stitching them. They take a while. You can see I've got some behind me. I've got all 4 of the seasonal queens hanging in my dining room behind me. So I love her stuff. They just take a while. And this one is, I don't know how you say this. It's French Jardin Privé. I don't know. But this is a Halloween one that I thought was really cute. Oh, they even show you. I just noticed this. They show you how to do a green-skinned witch on the back. My friend Michelle would really like that. She likes green-skinned witches. And then just a little wee Santa, Heart and Hand. This one I'm going to give to my mom because she will love it. Oh, I love the one from last year too. I bet I gave her that one. And then I have all these little round tins and things. I haven't made any of these, but another cute little Halloween one. All right, that's all my stash and all my stitching. So I will try not to be so long next time before I come make another video, and I hope you enjoyed seeing what I was working on. We'll see you next time. Bye.